Well, let's go back to the studio and we can join Natalie.
Thanks so much to Alistair Mann there for the excellent 45 minutes of commentary. Welcome back to Matchday Live. I'm Natalie Pike, still joined by Nedum Onuoha, Esme Morgan and Paul Dickov. So 0-0 at half-time. We have all been frantically checking the scores around the Premier League because, of course, all of the games kicked off at the same time today in the Premier League. And there is obviously a lot of competition at the bottom end for the relegation and, of course, for that European place as well that Brentford were loosely involved in, obviously, before the game, but with Aston Villa winning, it means they will get that European spot. We'll go through some of those permutations as it stands for you in a little bit as well. Hopefully, I think Nedum's been keeping an eye on it because I got lost about halfway through the first half. But on our game first, Paul, what did you make of the 45 minutes?
Yeah, bit of a, not a non-event, but not a lot going on, really. Spoke before about what Brentford would do. Getting everybody behind the ball, City keeping possession. Brentford looking for set plays, which will look dangerous on long throws, corners, which they always have done. Not many chances. Cole had a chance early doors where it ricocheted to him, and I thought he could have got his shot off a little bit earlier. Ederson's made a good save, but pretty much what we thought it was going to be. Brentford sitting and defending, City having lots of possession, not a lot of chances at the minute.
With the exception of the fact that we all predicted loads of goals. Other than that, though, yes. What did you make of the first half, Esme?
I think I'd just echo what Paul said, really. It's kind of hard to pick out any standout moments besides Cole Palmer's chance early on, which completely agree. I think he should have took it as soon as he opened up onto his back foot rather than kind of trying to drink his way through, and maybe got a bit lucky with a deflection before he did shoot. But yeah, it's hard to pick out any key moments. It was kind of a game seemed to be played in the middle third, not really much activity in either box, so a fairly quiet first half, really.
Nedum, we talked a lot before the game about who would be playing where. Who is playing where?
Can we solve this together?
Okay.
Solve this together.
Yep.
So Edison's in goal. That's a solid start.
Great. Yep.
So then I think it then goes Kyle Walker, it goes Laporte, Ake, and Gomez. That's a four from right to left.
Okay. Yep.
Then the midfield, I think it's Calvin Phillips and Rico Lewis.
Yep.
Ahead of them, you've got Cole Palmer in the middle, Mahrez on the right, Philip on the left, and Alvarez through the middle. Does that seem right?
Nailed it.
I cracked the Caesars.
Very nice.
You know what I mean? This is why they pay the big money, you know what I mean? Say what you
You're
say.
on big money.
Well, not quite, no. But I think that's what it is. But in some ways, it has been fluid. And it's not been the best of first halves as such. But then also, what I would say, as an away team, if you aren't at the races, you could still be punished. I think they've defended set pieces as well as they could have done. People have been committed when they needed to be. And they are taking the game seriously. Otherwise, as I say, this could have been a little bit of a procession for Brentford, but it's definitely not that today.
I am enjoying the Phillips-Lewis kind of growing partnership there. And again, I think it's a further representation of just how tactically mature Rico Lewis is.
Yeah, Rico's fantastic, you know what I mean? Like, whether you've seen him playing in defence or going into midfield, he's got the character to get on the ball, he's got the understanding to make the right decisions, and he'll stick his foot in when he needs to as well. When you see the fact that, say, he's 18 years of age. Oh, is he still 18? Or is he not
18, just turned 8. I think he turned 18 a few months ago.
Yes, it's not too bad, is it, when you can be that good and be playing in the Premier League at that sort of level. So fair play to him, and he can get better and better and better. I think he can have bigger impact in the game. I'd like to see him, say, in and around the edge of the box, be looking to be more progressive, whether it's with a shot or a pass to try and play somebody in. But again, you know, sometimes I'm guilty of this myself. When I'm near the goal, I panic. But for him, maybe at some point in the future, you'll see it and see that as a big opportunity.
In terms of big opportunities for other players, Esme, anybody standing out for you? Phil Foden making a case for himself for the finals, maybe?
Yeah, I think he's had a fairly quiet game, to be honest, for the most part. He's received the ball a lot kind of midway inside our attacking half and hasn't really had too much opportunity to drive at defenders and take people on and be direct, really. So I think he'll probably be hoping to get a few more opportunities if the game becomes a little bit more expansive in the second half.
Think we'll make any changes, Paul? I mean, you know, we see Pep going a whole game making no changes, but is this different with it where we are?
Yeah, I can't see it at the minute, but I know he doesn't usually like making changes, but maybe with, you know, the likes of Haaland on the bench, he might just want to get some more minutes in him, because they've got it's a week's break, but the players aren't used to that. You know, they're used to be playing weekend, midweek. So maybe after 60, 70 minutes, maybe just give some of the lads a run out or not, but you never know. Sometimes, he's said before when he's made 5 changes, he's not been happy with it because he doesn't like upsetting the momentum of the team. But I can't see many changes getting made, not unless there's injuries, really.
How are you doing on your fantasy football team? Obviously, we had Oshin on the React to wall. Too soon?
I prefer
Okay.
not to speak. It's too soon.
But did you make any clever changes? Did you do Haaland to Kane before the deadline?
I thought it was... I had Kane anyway, but I thought I was going to be smart, but my team's in the mud.
What was your smart? What was your smart?
No, just every week. It's like playing a lottery. You genuinely believe you're going to win, don't you? And as I picked my team, I thought, well, this is the team. But listen, it's not the team. But we move on.
Oh, no.
It's not the team. It's fine.
OK, I'm feeling OK because I did do Haaland to Kane before the deadline. Followed those rumours on Twitter, although I did bring.
This is why you're the champion. This is why you're the champion. But there's always next year for everybody.
You see, I stopped playing Football Manager because I done it for real and get sacked.
This is the thing. Exactly.
I wasn't very good at it then, so I'm definitely not very good at it now.
There's us two sat here talking like we're real managers. And
Yes. Fancy yourself doing that. Go on.
The amount of people that play the game that must think, I bet real managers get really annoyed. Oh well, we'll find out in full time how you've got on, and we'll just have
prefer not to speak that. We'll talk about anything else.
Right, there is a lot of other games, obviously, in the Premier League. Everybody kicked off today at 4:30. What is going on down the other end of the table? Let's give you a quick update on the half-time scores. Between us all, we'll do our best to work out what it means. So, Villa are leading Brighton, which means Villa will get that final European place, which would be sensational for them. Down the other end of the table, Everton are drawing with Bournemouth. Leeds are losing to Spurs. And Leicester are beating West Ham. So, Nedum, what do we think that means?
It means Leicester are currently in 17th, so they would be safe. And the bottom 3 would be Southampton at the bottom, Leeds, and then Everton.
Yes.
But everything changes if Everton take the lead in their game, I believe.
Yes, so it's currently Leicester just above the relegation zone, 34 points. Shot is a low total to stay up this year, isn't it? 18th place, Everton, 34 points, but Everton have a far worse goal difference. The Everton game is currently 0-0, so Everton are at home, Paul.
I know.
You think that there might be some fight there?
Yeah, I think the next 45 minutes is huge. I wouldn't want to be the Everton players if it ends up finishing this way, with it being at home and not scoring a goal when you need to win as well. They're going to have to go all out second half, and I've always liked Everton, always liked playing there, but obviously I've got a soft spot for Leicester, spending 4 years there, so I would like to see Leicester stay up.
We'll keep an eye on it throughout the second half as well. We keep refreshing as well. We'll let you know at full time, of course. We've had loads and loads of WhatsApp questions coming through. Thank you so much for sending those in. I'll try and get through as many as I can now. We'll keep an eye out. When the players get in the tunnel, we'll stop the WhatsApp questions. So, Wolfie asks, hi team, do you think resting players will upset the rhythm of the team? I'm worried it will. I know we're favourites and have a fantastic team, but I hope that players don't get rusty. Esme, do you find yourself as a professional player getting rusty if you don't play for a few weeks?
Sometimes. I think maybe coming back from the summer or maybe the Christmas break, which we have in the women's game. I know that's not the case in the men's game, but I think you do sort of take a couple of training sessions to maybe get up to speed, get used to seeing pictures again. But they've played so many games this season, I don't think it'll be too disruptive. And at this point of the season, there's so many niggles going around the squad that it's almost more beneficial to allow people an extra few days just to sort those out, let those settle so they can be 100% or as close to 100% as possible for the finals.
Nedum, what do you think?
I'm with Esme on that, yeah. And as well, people might have missed 2 games if they're being rested as such, but they're actually just missing like one match week, one normal match week. So they're not missing months worth of football. So I'm not. I trust Pep Guardiola and his coaching staff.
And his staff, and the medical staff.
Yeah, I think they've got a rough idea of what they're going for. They've done quite well across the year, so yeah, I've got no stresses whatsoever.
Wolfie, don't worry. That is the message from the panel today. Don't worry. We've got a message from George. Great panel of pundits with you today, Natalie. Well, thank you, George. That was a nice way to start.
It's an easy way to get your question up, isn't it? You know what I mean? Start with a compliment. I see you.
Well played, George.
From George Dickov from Glasgow.
So even though we are the home team for the Champions League final, would any of you like to see City play mind games with Inter? OK, George, I see where you're going. And play in the red and black stripes kit.
What, to look like AC?
I don't know, yeah, like what's...
Well, that's where the red and black was taken from.
Yes, the history.
Yeah.
I remember
Malcolm
seeing
Allison, wasn't it?
Yeah, where the video Puma did when it launched, with the connections between Milan and us. Do you think that would mess with them?
I don't know, they might see it as more of a derby. It might have the reverse effect and actually get them more up for it, to be fair. I'd quite like us to be in City Blue for the Champions League final. Imagine lifting the Champions League and we're in the iconic sky blue. It'd just be perfect.
Oh, God, Esme.
Couldn't have said that, yeah.
My stomach just jumped again.
And we don't need to play any mind games. We're good enough as it is.
You're so right, Paul.
That man.
So right.
That man. Yes, love that. Thank you for the question, George. OK, San says, hey, it's San from Kolkata. Hi. My question is, how are the players feeling, especially to important matches back-to-back, FA Cup final and Champions League final? Are they preparing anything different or are they sticking to the basics?
Well, as somebody who's never played an FA Cup final nor a Champions League final, I can say that I don't have a clue. But I think in terms of the way that they've been this season, it's one game at a time. I think that's the skill that's brought them to this position whereby they can potentially, achieve as much as they have in this moment. They're very good at preparing every game. They understand the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition, the strengths of themselves, and they have a game plan for each one. So I don't think they ever skip ahead to a game. Like, that's the primary focus. And when you have someone like Pep Guardiola at the helm, it's clear he won't let you get ahead of anything. Like, he's going to structure it in a way whereby the next game is the most important game of the whole year. Then maybe after you've won it, then you can celebrate. But then before you know it, it's the next game that's now the most important game. So it's a boring answer. But I'm sure it's preparing the same way they have done for the last 10 months / 7 years, I'd say.
Paul, of course, you have played in a large final for City, an important final. Your perspective on that?
I don't think they'll change anything. The players will be buzzing for it. And more than anything else, I think they'll, in the nicest possible way, they'll want to get today's game out of the way. And then they can start a preparation for it. And as Nedum said, they're experienced pros at competing for everything at the end of the season now. FA Cup finals, been to the Champions League final a couple of years ago. So they know exactly what they're doing, and as Nedum says, but Pep knows what he wants from his team, and they'll look forward to a couple of days off after today. I would imagine then, come Wednesday, all the focus will be in the FA Cup final. They won't even be thinking about the Champions League final. Everybody else will be talking about it. But, I can't just repeat what Nedum says, one game at a time.
Yeah.
And obviously, as our current professional, is that your mindset?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, is just focusing on the one that's in front of you. They'll be acutely aware, I imagine, that there is a Champions League final on the horizon, but it's not something that's going to be occupying sessions in analysis or tactical information on the pitch. Everything will be solely focused throughout this week on Brentford and then next week wholly on United.
Now, we didn't get a chance before the game. We've got a couple of minutes now until the players come out, but I wanted to ask you about England. The team for the World Cup is out is it Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday it gets announced. And we find out on Wednesday as well whether we're in or out, so...
How do you find out?
We're getting a FaceTime call in the morning from the manager and I presume a couple of the other staff as well, informing you of whether you've been selected or not. So it'll be a bit nervy seeing the name flash up, not knowing which way it's going to go.
That's actually quite horrible, isn't it?
Yeah!
See, I thought that, but I was speaking to a couple of the other girls about it. The Swedes find out on the television. Literally live on TV, their coach reads out the team on a press conference. I think that's so harsh.
We used to find out off teletext.
Teletext?
CFAX, they're too young to
Everybody doesn't even know what teletext is.
No, it's when it
Who's
comes through, isn't it?
You're better than that.
No.
She is.
Yeah.
You're better than that.
Yeah, teletext.
You're better than
So when the squad was getting announced, you sit there basically go 301, which was the sports page.
Yeah, and you had to keep typing it. It wasn't
and
even...
then squad announced, and then you had to click on the squad announcement and you used to go down and see if you were in it or not.
Oh, Paul, I remember teletext very, very well. That's where you get
FaceTime.
the City score away.
FaceTime with the manager. Unbelievable.
What FaceTime?
Well, very best of luck.
Yeah. Thank you.
Obviously, you've been in all the England squad recently, so we all have our fingers crossed for you because that would be the absolute icing.
Thank you very much.
Yes, on an incredible year for you. So very best of luck. Very best of luck to our Esme there. We'll be refreshing, waiting to find out. I bet you're not allowed to tell us before. You can't pop it in the group, can you?
No.
I'm in. And then
removed.
Yeah. Thank you. As you can see, the teams are coming back out now. Thank you so much for joining us on Matchday Live. We will all be back at full time, where we will be talking about the end of the Premier League season, of course. We are already champions. So do you know what, Blues? sit back, relax and enjoy the final 45 minutes of the Premier League season, because we haven't been able to do that in the last couple of years. Enjoy it, get your full match commentary now with the wonderful Alistair Mann on the Manchester City app. We'll see you in 45.
Welcome back to the G-Tech Community Stadium.